Hello viewers, welcome to this video lecture series on C programming. Today's topic of discussion is on input function in C. So which function can be used as an input function, and we have mentioned here as a formatted input function. That means there are few unformatted input functions that I shall be explaining in future sessions. So in this session I shall give you the explanation about the formatted input function. Scanf is the formatted input function in C. Now, what do you mean by formatted input? It refers to an input data that has been arranged in a particular format. I have arranged the data in this manner. The very first data is float number, we have the integer number, and we have a character data type. So in this, if at all I am giving the input in this format, I want to give always the input first as a floating number, then followed by integer, then followed by a character data type. For that reason, in the input also, in the scanf function also, I have to specify that order, and that order can be specified using the control string and the argument. Syntax for the scanf statement is scanf control string followed by arguments, argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, so on, argument n. Now what does this control string specifies? The control string specify the field format in which the data has to be entered, and the arguments specify the address of locations where the data is stored. Actually, control string consists of two characters, one is percentage and another is the letter D. What does these two letters mean here? This percentage is the conversion character and D is for the data type. Suppose if you are giving input values for integers, then you have to use D for floating, F for character, C for string, S, so on. So also with the data you can specify the width. So the field specification for reading an integer is percentage WD. This is the field specification. The percentage sign, as I said, it indicates a conversion. What is W here? W is an integer number that specifies the field width of the number to be read. This is the second method of giving inputs to the variables. In the first method, we have seen that the values can be assigned to the variables in the program statement itself. Like I think I have explained one simple example wherein how you are going to give the values directly in the programs. Int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, so on, like this. So here what is that you are doing? You are assigning the values to the variables directly in the program itself. This method is called as the static method. That means you are giving the input during the compile time only. But suppose if you have to give the input during the runtime, then you have to make use of this scanf function. And the example for this scanf function, let me write here. So I'll just write one simple example, scanf. I'm mentioning here the width also. So let me use percentage 2D, percentage 5D, and some variables I'm using, number 1 and number 2, num1 and num2. Now for this, I need to give the data. The data, suppose if the data is like this, I'm mentioning 70 and 3, 2, 5, 7, 8. These two numbers I have given. My input variables are num1 and num2. So I am giving two numbers here, 70 and 32578 is the second number. Value 70 will be assigned to num1, right? And the value 32578 will be assigned to num2. Suppose if I give for the same scanf function the input as 32578 and then I give the second value as 70. Then what happens? Here, since you have specified the width 2 here for num1 and 5 for num2, so but you are giving the very first number consisting of what? 5 digits, 32578, but you have specified here only 2 digit in the input function. Then for the num1, 32 will be assigned to num1. Fine, only this 32 will get assigned to num1. And 578, the last 3 digits of the first value itself will get assigned to num2. And finally, what is left out? To 70. 70 is not taken at all, and it will be assigned to a first variable in the next scanf. This 70 will get assigned to the first variable in the next scanf. So here actually there is an error. That's the reason we can avoid these errors. We can eliminate these errors if we use the field specifications without the field width. Simply write percentage D ampersand. This way you can give the data, whatever data you are giving. Suppose if you are giving 3, 2, 5, 7, 8 and 70. So num1 will get now 3, 2, 5, 7, 8 and num2 will get 70. Whatever data you are giving here in the input, that is during the runtime, it has to be separated by spaces, tabs or new lines. Do not use the punctuation marks. 32178 I have given here a tab. So this either you use space, tab or new line whenever you are giving more than one data. Now one more thing you can take care. Suppose if your scanf function is %d and an asterisk get included, then followed by one more %d, but you are giving what? Only two variables here, a and b. So the data, if you are giving the data like this 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 3, 7, 6, 4, the variables are a and b. There are three values that are mentioned here in the data, but you are using only two variables, so it will get assigned like this. A will get 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 3 will get skipped. Because of the asterisk character, the second value will get skipped here, and then B will get 764. B will be assigned with 764. To read long integers, the data type character D may be preceded by L letter. The time when you declared this statement like int A, B and sum, what has happened is in the memory locations are identified for A, then for B and for sum. So this way all these three memory locations will get the name A, B and sum. Once you perform the computation, suppose in your program you are writing sum equal to A plus B, then the values for this particular A and B will get added and it will be stored in the variable sum. But before this you are going to give the input values scanf using the scanf statement %d, ampersand A, ampersand B. Fine. You will perform the computation, then you will print the sum as printf sum equal to %d sum. So this is a small piece of code wherein I have declared the variables A, B and sum. The moment the declaration is done, the memory locations are identified here, and A, B and sum, these three locations are identified, and the name for these memory locations are given A, B and sum. Then you are using the scanf statement, so to give the input values. So it will ask the user to enter the values for A and B. So you can enter the values like A equal to 20, B equal to 10. So it will print, then you are doing the computation statement. So it will add these numbers 20 and 10 and it will be stored in the variable sum equal to 30. So A is 20, B is 10 and sum is 30. Then using the printf statement, the value is fetched from this particular memory location. What exactly happens is, see, one more thing here you have to remember is when these values are getting stored in the memory locations, these memory locations are having addresses. Like A may be having an address of, let us assume, randomly I am taking, it is stored at memory address 2000. This is stored at 3000, let us take, this is stored at 4000. Fine. If these are the addresses, so these addresses will also get stored. So exactly how it happens is, if suppose if this is the memory, when you are using the main function, first the memory for the main is allocated, and in the main, since you are using three variables A, B and sum, all these three memory locations will have addresses like 2000, what is that I have written, 2000, 3000 and 4000. And what are the names for this A, B and sum? What are the values? 20, 10 and 30. So then you are calling, see, 30 will not be immediately stored, 30 will get stored after the computation of this statement sum equal to A plus B. So when you use the main function in the program, in the memory for the main is allocated, and in this main you are using the variables A, B and sum. So the locations for A, B and sum are also identified, and these memory locations get the name as A, B and sum. Then you use the scanf function to enter the values for A and B. So A will get 20 and B will get the value as 10. Whatever values you are giving, the same values will be assigned here. Then you are performing the computation sum equal to A plus B. So when you are calling the scanf function, the memory for the scanf is also allocated here. Values which are stored in the memory locations, okay, those memory addresses are also stored in one location. So that means this location is storing the value that is address of A, one more location is storing the value address of B. Look here, you can see that this particular address will point to what? Will point to this address where the value is stored. This will point to this one where the value is stored. So this concept you will be studying later in my future video sessions. Suppose if you are giving the data in a mixed form, scanf if you are writing and writing first %d followed by %f %c, this is also allowed. You can give data values here, one for the integer, another for floating and another for character. So you specify the respective variables which you are using in the program. So whatever input you are giving here now through the scanf function, you are using the standard input, that is the keyboard. You can give input values through mouse or scanner also, but the input that is getting accepted through the keyboard is what? The standard input. This is all about the formatted input function in C, that is the scanf, and in the next session I shall explain you about the formatted output function in C. Hope this session is useful to you all. If you find it useful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye and take care.